Today I'm going to show you how to make one of these beautiful rolled paper flower shadow boxes. This was my first time ever making paper flowers and I'm in love with how this project came out. I was originally going to give it to my mom for Mother's Day, but I love it so much that I decided to keep it for myself. So hopefully she never sees this video. It goes so perfectly in my front entryway. I didn't apply any vinyl decals to the glass of mine, but if you did want to make this as a Mother's Day gift, I have some pretty designs that would work perfect. For materials, you'll need a Cricut machine, a shadow box, a pack of cardstock, glue, and a quilling tool. The flower design that I cut on my Cricut Maker is 8 inches. An 8-inch cut will make a 2-inch flower. You need to use a Cricut machine from the Maker or Explore series to cut flowers this big. The widest you can cut on a Cricut Joy is 4.5 inches. So you could only make very small flowers with that machine. I got my shadow box from Michaels. It's currently $8.99, but when I bought mine, it was 50% off, so around $5. This one measures 13 by 13 inches. Most of the tutorials I've seen on YouTube or shadow boxes I've seen on Etsy are made with the 8 by 8 inch shadow box. I didn't see these sold individually at Michaels. They were $22.49 for a 3-pack, so $7.49 each. If you love making shadow boxes and sell a bunch with your Cricut business, Michaels does have a pro pack with 36 shadow boxes for $161.88. This makes them only $4.49 a piece, but you have to buy 36 at a time. I used 35 sheets of purple cardstock to make my floral heart. I paid $6.99 for one pack that had 50 sheets. The variety pack that I bought came with 5 different shades of purple. So if you wanted to divide those evenly, 35 divided by 5 would be 7 of each color. You'll also need a large sheet of Posterboard and a 12 by 12 inch sheet of cardstock. The 12 by 12 inch sheet of cardstock is going to be used to make the heart that goes in the center of your shadow box. This is the file that I'm downloading to use to make the roses for my shadow box. You can see that it comes with a whole bunch of different flowers. This is a bundle. This is super popular. It's been favorited 1,840 times. If you want to add it to your favorites, you just click this button right here. And if you want to find your favorites folder on Creative Fabrica, you can come up here and click on My Favorites. Whenever I'm bored and looking for project inspiration, I like to browse through Creative Fabrica. I'll find whatever file it is that I like and then add it to my favorites. If you want to remove something from your favorites, you just click it again. If you've never used Creative Fabrica before, you have the option to download fonts and graphics individually, so you can pay for just one design at a time, or you can sign up for one of their subscriptions. If you click on the link down below in my video description, it will bring you to this page where you can try out Creative Fabrica for free. You can download 10 items for free, and after the 10th download, or after 1 month, the subscription renews at $9 a month. And if you're looking for an even better deal, you can buy the yearly plan for just $4.99 a month. It's the cheapest deal I've seen in the last 3 years. It gets billed as a one-time fee of $59 and it renews at that same price next year. This gives you unlimited access to everything on their website. So all of these cut files, if you're interested in trying to make more paper flowers with your Cricut. They also have thousands of amazing fonts. They also have thousands of pages of SVGs, bundles, sublimation graphics, pretty much anything you could be possibly looking for. With their all-access subscription, you can download as much as you want. There's no limit on the amount of downloads you can download every day. You can find 3D files, home crafts, mock-ups, logos, backgrounds, crafts for various holidays. They even have classes for only $4.99 a month. When you have the subscription, downloading anything on Creative Fabrica is super easy. All you have to do is click this big green download button. On my computer, I have a pop-up in the lower left-hand corner. I'm using a Windows, not a Mac, so it might be different depending on the type of computer you have. This is a really big file, so it's going to take about a minute to download. But I click this button. I'm going to go over here and click on the SVG file. And now you can see all the different kinds of rolled flowers. There is 70 different files within this bundle. Trying to go through all of these 70 files and figure out which flower you want is a little tricky. So you can actually go back and click all flowers full files and then click the SVG and it breaks it down so you can see what the flowers 1 through 15 are, 16 through 30. So these are the ones that are 1 through 15. None of these are the rows that I want. So let's check the next one. Another thing that you can click on that is super helpful is if you click Preview All Flowers and Instruction. And then you can click on the first one and it shows you all of the different flowers. So the one that I want to do is number 7. So I'm going to go back one more, click SVG and number 7. I want to right click and save as. Then save it to whatever folder you want. And don't forget where you saved it to because you're going to have to go back and find it to upload it to Design Space. So here I am in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to go to Upload, Upload Image, Browse, and then I'm going to select that SVG I just saved and click Open. Then click Upload. Select it and click Add to Canvas. Right now this file is measuring 11.74 inches by 11. I want to shrink mine down to be 8 inches. So we can click 8, Enter. Now I can go over and click Make It. To speed up this process in Design Space, you can copy and paste your floral cutout 35 times. So then when you're on your Make It screen, you just have to keep loading and unloading your mat and not going back in, clicking Make It, reselecting your material, and so forth. Click Continue. Next we need to select our material. I'm using 65-pound cardstock. Now we can go over to our Cricut machine and load the mat into the machine. I'm using 65-pound cardstock. I got it at Michael's. It was $6.99 for 50 of them. They were on sale for buy one, get one 50% off, so I got 2 packs. I would also recommend using a blue light grip mat. You want to grab a sheet of paper and place it in the upper left-hand corner of your mat. Click the blinking double arrow to load your mat into the machine. And then click the blinking Cricut button to begin cutting. And that's what your file will look like when it's done cutting. Grab the paper and gently pull it off the mat. I think it really helps to have 2 mats. So you can have one in your machine while it's cutting, and then when it's done cutting, you can unload it and take it over to the table. While the machine cuts out that paper, I can peel this one off. Then I can grab another piece of paper, stick it to my mat. By the time I do that, my machine just finished cutting this one, so I can unload it. Load in my next mat and begin the cut. There's still about a 4-inch piece of cardstock left on the bottom of these, so what I've been doing is cutting it like this so I can save this for future smaller flowers or for crafts for my kids. This is the craft glue that I'm using. I got it on Amazon, and I will include a link down below in my video description. It's called Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. It also came with some different kinds of tips that you can use. Grab your shadow box and remove the backing by twisting the little tabs. Take off the back and the paper that came inside. You can see that the backing is not very pretty. It kind of looks like cardboard. So you're going to want to put some kind of paper over this. I bought a giant sheet of white Posterboard at Michael's for $1.99. I put the backing on top of my cardstock and used a pencil to trace the outline. And then I cut it out with a pair of scissors. I made a really big mistake at this point. I thought about editing it out of my video, but I ultimately decided to leave it because everybody makes mistakes and this is a great learning opportunity, and I based on my mistake. So I took glue and I basically spread it all over the backing. I don't know if you guys can see this, but my glue is starting to show through the paper where I did those squiggly lines. So I actually have to rip this paper off and reapply a new sheet of paper and only put glue around the edges and not all over the middle like this. So some super sticky glue. It's peeling off the backing, but I think that's going to be okay because we're going to cover that.
Maybe if you like smush it down with a credit card, it'll help spread it out.
I'm going to recut out this new piece of paper. Now I'm going to reapply the glue only on the outer edges so it won't seep through the paper. And use your finger and smooth the glue down all around the edges. Problem solved. The next thing that I want to do is cut out a heart shape to go inside my shadow box. This will help me know where to place the flowers. Come over to Shapes and select the heart. I want my heart to be about 10.5 inches, so I can go over here and click 10.5, enter. Now I can go over to make it. Click continue. Set your material to light cardstock, 65 pounds, and then load it into your machine. Now I can peel this off. And move it over to here. This heart will help me be able to tell exactly where to place the flowers. It's really important to make sure that when you're gluing this heart on right now that you have it faced the right way, because if you look at the back of your shadow box, there's little hooks for where you can frame it. And you don't want to glue your heart on and have it be like sideways so the little hook doesn't work. Make sure your heart is facing up the same way that your hook is where you hang it on the wall. Now I'm going to show you how to roll these paper flowers. The correct tool to use for this is called a quilling tool. However, I don't have one of those, but luckily there's a lot of alternatives that you can use instead of a quilling tool. So what I'm using is a pair of tweezers and a binder clip. All I do is I pinch the tweezers shut and then clip this on, and it keeps the paper in here nicely. So you want to start at the end and place your quilling tool or your tweezers right on the very end. Now I'm going to clamp my tweezers shut and I'm going to start rolling towards me. You want to keep it nice and tightly rolled together. I try to keep my hand horizontal and just keep twisting it. I will say that I am a total newbie at this. This is actually my first time ever rolling flowers. It's not my favorite project, that's for sure. But they do come out really pretty. If this is your first time like me, try not to get too frustrated. I found myself getting really annoyed after a while, and I had to take a break and go have a drink and eat a snack, and then I went back and I was in a much better mood. I hear it gets easier the more that you do it. I'm sure it helps to have the proper quilling tool also. And it definitely gets harder towards the end. It's pretty easy in the beginning, but towards the end of the flower it gets a little tricky. So once you get to the end, I pull my little tool off. Then I take this piece and I bend it back. This is what we're going to glue in a moment to the bottom. So right now our flower is really tight and you want it to open up to be more loose so it looks more realistic. So what I've been doing is flipping it upside down and letting it go fully. Then grab it, flip this side, and glue right here. I really like this though because it dries really fast and it's super sticky. So I just put the glue all over the bottom. And I also glue this part. And then flip this over. And you want to hold that in place. After about 10 seconds, this glue is dry. And we have a beautiful flower. Let's do another one. So just like before, I'm going to start on the end. Squeeze it with my tweezers. Add my little clip. And I'm going to just start rolling towards myself. I try not to stress too much about it not being rolled tight enough. I definitely try to keep it rolled tight, but I also know that at the end I'm just going to let it pop open anyways because I like my flowers to be more open. When we get to here, I bend this backwards, pull off my tweezers. This is really tight, so I'm just going to place it down, let it naturally open. Then I'm going to glue it. So a little glue on the flap. And some more glue down here. Fold your flap over and hold it for 10 seconds. I didn't show myself making all 35 flowers in this video because that would just be way too repetitive and take forever. But I sped things up while I made a handful of them so you could see the process. Once I finished rolling all the flowers, I got to the really fun part, which is gluing the flowers to the heart. I started by gluing the flowers to the outside of the heart, and I tried to stay in a pattern. So I did dark purple, light purple, the bluish purple, and then this other shade of purple. Honestly, it was kind of hard to tell some of these shades apart. I think there's actually 5 different shades, if I'm correct, within that pack. There definitely is 5, so I don't know. My pattern got a little messed up, but I did my best to spread the colors out. I did speed this process along. Just so you guys know, I started this project at 11:30 in the morning, and I didn't finish until 5:45 at night. It probably took me close to 5 minutes per flower to roll and glue. So if you multiply that by 35 flowers, that's 175 minutes, which is almost 3 hours right there. And then it takes the machine about 2 minutes to cut each flower. So that's another hour. I'm sure once you get used to making these flowers, you can do it a lot faster, but this was my first time making paper flowers, and it was kind of challenging for me. So it did take me quite a while, and I think that's why I decided to keep this in the end, because I know how much work went into it. It literally took me all day. While I love this project and I think it's so beautiful, I would never sell this with my Cricut business just because of how long it takes to make. Oh my god, look how pretty this looks! I love this project so much. So now that everything's glued together, I can flip it over and then refasten all of the tabs. I hope you guys enjoyed this project. If you guys have any tips on how to roll flowers better or faster, I would love to hear them in the comments. I would also appreciate if you liked this video, subscribe to my channel, and turned on your notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos.